and welcome to the news at 1. I'm Ayala Balogo. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has postponed the governorship and state assemblies election to Saturday, 18th March 2023. A statement by INEC National Commissioner in charge of Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, explains that following ruling by the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal on the reconfiguration of the bimodal voter accreditation system waivers used for the presidential election held on 25th of February 2023, INEC met to assess its impact on the Commission's preparations for the governorship and state houses of assembly elections scheduled for this Saturday, 11th March 2023, and decided to reschedule it. INEC stated that it is necessary to reconfigure the waivers for activation on the date of the governorship and state assembly elections. The statement added that the ruling of the tribunal makes it possible for the Commission to commence the preparation of the waivers for the governorship and state assembly elections, which has become too late for the reconfiguration to be concluded before this Saturday. He noted that the decision has become necessary to ensure that there is adequate time to back up the data stored on the over 176,000 waivers machines from the presidential and national assembly elections held on 25th February 2023, and then to reconfigure them for the governorship and state assembly election. INEC, however, reassured all political parties and candidates that the data from the presidential and national assembly elections will be backed up and available in INEC cloud facilities, including the INEC Results Viewing Portal, IREV, and that political parties can apply for certified true copies of the back-end data of the waivers. Market men and women in Ogun Central Senatorial District have pledged their loyalty and support for the realization of the second-term ambition of Ogun State Governor NTA Abeokuta, promising him massive votes during Saturday's governorship and state house of elections. This is the thrust of a meeting held at the Centenary Hall, NTA Abeokuta, which was attended by some top government functionaries. Yemi Dalemo reports.
Leaders of the various markets across the 6 local governments making up Ogun Central Senatorial District converged on Centenary Hall, NTA Abeokuta, to set the record straight and express their unalloyed support for Governor NTA Abeokuta, whom they say has been treating them well. They eulogized and sang praises of Governor NTA Abeokuta, expressing appreciation and reiterating their support for his second term in office ambition. Iyaloja General of Ogun State, Yemisi Abbas, and a counterpart in Egba land, Oluwakemi Abeke Oloyede, say market men and women in Egba land and Ogun Central Senatorial District will vote massively for Governor Abeokuta come Saturday, March 11, 2023.
We market women and men, we are for current governments. Any government in power, we are with them. And we know in the city that we are, some people were political propaganda. They went to governor that we said we should not vote for governor, which is capital. No, we are with NTA Abeokuta. We will vote for him massively on Saturday, 11th March 2023.
Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development Funmi Fuakwe commended the determination of the association and notes that Governor NTA Abeokuta will deliver more democratic dividends if given another opportunity to serve.
Proving themselves worthy of trust, because 2 weeks ago they came out to vote en masse for our great party APC for the presidential, and they are giving us assurance that this time around we are going to even have more than the votes we got the other time. So we trust them because we know that we've had a good relationship with them and we know they will not disappoint us.
The market men and women also promised to spread the good news of Governor NTA Abeokuta to others in their localities. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in continuation of his campaign for the ADC governorship candidate in Ogun State, Biyi Otegbeye, a former governor and senator representing Ogun Central Senatorial District, Abeokuta Amosun, is assuring that ADC's Otegbeye will complete all uncompleted projects by his administration when elected as the governor of Ogun State. Senator Amosun said this when he led the ADC governorship campaign team to Ifo, Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State. Sheyi Ogunbayo brings us the detail.
In his continuous bid to ensure the victory of the governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress (ADC), Barrister B. Otegbeye, Senator Abeokuta Amosun urged the electorate in Ewekoro and Ifo local government areas to vote massively for ADC during the governorship and State House of Assembly election. Barrister B. Otegbeye, alongside Senator Abeokuta Amosun and other members of the campaign team, moved round Akute, Alagbole, Itoki, Ojodu, Isheri, where they promised completion of all abandoned projects if Otegbeye becomes the governor of Ogun State.
When we get there, definitely I can tell you, no project will be abandoned. All abandoned projects will be revisited, and we will make sure that dividend of democracy is given to all good people of Ogun State. There are 3 critical areas for retirees. The first one is their pensions, the second one is their gratuity, and the third one is to ensure welfare, guarantee for the aged. In all these 3 areas, we are going to make sure that their pensions are paid regularly.
The residents of Obadaoku, Arigbajo, Koka, Ifo markets and motor parks visited promised to reciprocate the good deeds of Senator Abeokuta Amosun by voting his candidate B. Otegbeye during the governorship election.
In related development, residents of Obafemi Awode local government area of Ogun State have pledged to vote massively for the ADC governorship candidate B. Otegbeye in the Saturday 18th of March polls. They made this pledge during the ADC governorship campaign to some towns in the local government. We'll bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletin. To think differently outside the box, be technologically driven, invest in capacity building and development, evolving new competencies, among others, are some of the qualities needed to succeed as a leader. This is the consensus of guest lecturers at a 2-day mentorship conference and leadership retreat organized by the Nigerian Medical Association, Ogun State branch. Akim Jima's report is here presented.
The need to mentor, nurture, motivate, and inspire young leaders to stardom took the center stage as medical doctors and other health practitioners from public and private health institutions across Ogun State converged on Federal Medical Center Abeokuta to chart the way forward for potential future leaders in the sector in line with the 21st century international best practice. Guest lecturers including former Secretary to Ogun State Government Taiwo Adeoluwa, while challenging future leaders to brace up for the task ahead, urged them to be innovative, people-oriented, transparent, consistent, above all, build and maintain a network of people in the quest to develop their leadership potentials.
And when you set examples, you will be inspirational. It is easier to be trusted when you know that what you are said to do, you are also doing it, or you will do it so easily. Nobody is likely to trust a leader who is not transparent.
No matter how competent you are in any area, if you don't have political competence, you are not likely to succeed. Political competence is about balancing interests. It's about seeing how you will manage people. We have seen emergence of toxic politics at workplace.
Encompasses several components that intertwine and empower each other. That is the values, the goals, the roles, the processes, communications, practices, and attitudes of people in a particular organization.
The leadership of Nigeria Medical Association Ogun State Branch acknowledged that the theme of the lecture is apt and noted that it is one of the numerous ways of developing the intellectual capacity of members of the association, especially youths among them.
We need to learn and unlearn those things that we have learned so that we can then rightfully say that we can discharge our duties as leaders within the health sector. We want to have a good mentor-mentee relationship where, as our senior ones are growing old and they are trying to leave the system, the integrity of our system and the dignity that has been attached to medical profession is not being thrown into the bush.
The high point of the event was the presentation of awards to some deserving Nigerians who over the years distinguished themselves in their various fields of human endeavors.
As Nigerians continue to contend with the hardship associated with accessing cash, there seems to be a slight relief in Abeokuta, Ogun State, as some banks commence transactions with old Naira notes. Kemi Orishalu reports that some banks were closed to customers due to non-availability of cash and fear of possible attack on their facilities.
There seems to be relief for Nigerians, especially residents of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, as some banks have started complying with the Supreme Court judgment by paying their customers with old currency notes, a development applauded by many.
It's a special one, but when we entered, we were able to realize that they are giving out old notes. So you just come in, once you are comfortable with it, you collect and you go. So it's easy.
Meanwhile, it was an agonizing tale for customers of some banks in Abeokuta as they lament the ill treatment by the bank officials.
Are sick, they can't get money to buy medication. It is true, this is reality. I'm talking about the reality.
Most of the banks were shut to customers, not minding discussion song, despite the fact that many of them came for one complaint or the other, especially on e-transaction platforms, which has been erratic for some time now. Market men and women appeal to authorities concerned to take decisive action on the way forward.
If the distributor can collect it from us, you start collecting from people. But when we collect it from people here, and the distributor reviews from collecting it from us, what do you want us to do?
When we collect it, nobody will collect it from. Maybe we want to buy market or another thing. So that is why we couldn't collect it.
As the old Naira note kept back into circulation, the fear of acceptability is the concern of many Nigerians. In Abeokuta, Kemi Orishalu, NTA News.
And still on the old Naira notes, traders are still lamenting while members of the public says there is a need for implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on old Naira notes. Adebola Agbaje moves round to know the situation of things within Oyo town. Her report.
A visit to some major markets in Oyo town shows that the old Naira note is still not in circulation, while some said banks are yet to give out the old Naira notes. Commercial drivers on their part said if filling stations are ready to accept the money, they will also collect from passengers.
That old notes from bank, but people don't accept it and attempt to return it back to bank. They say that they should take it to central bank.
It's paying the old Naira at the moment, but the traders are rejecting it. So that's why the major concern is. They said the CBN governor and the president have not addressed the public on the issue of old Naira notes.
Just come every day, no markets. Because of the exchange of the money.
If you are go get, I go collect old for new one, all of them go collect.
Major markets are yet to come back to life due to low patronage of customers, while they appeal to governments to implement the directive of the Supreme Court. From Oyo, Adebola Agbaje, NTA News.
2 female passengers and a young male have been confirmed dead, while several others were injured in a train accident in Lagos. The accident occurred when a train ran into the bus with 84 other passengers who suffered varying degrees of injuries. A joint rescue and recovery operation by the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, and National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, at the scene of the accident around PWD in Lagos has been concluded with the evacuation of the bus from the rail track. In the meantime, the driver of the bus is allegedly on the run. Commenting on the development during an on-the-spot assessment visit to the scene, Lagos State Commissioner of Police Idowu Owohunwa said investigation into the incident has commenced. And that concludes the news at 1. I'm Anyala Balogun. Good afternoon.